yes. This means one of two things. Aladdin and Genie are outside, or it's time for Monday Mirages. Did you know that they're making a new Aladdin movie?
I heard that.
And rumor is that Will Smith will be the Genie.
Whoa, I did not hear that part of it. It was like 2020 release, though? Like down the line?
It's a ways off, yes. Okay. I don't know exactly when. But this is enough of my questions. This is where guys ask the questions, and then we all decide whether they're real, it could continue to happen, or simply a mirage, and you should carry on.
Real or Mirage, the next 4 series. We're talking for the New York Yankees. The next 4 series. Orioles, Red Sox,
Orioles, Blue Jays, Cubs.
That is the most important stretch for the New York Yankees this season.
I'm going to say real, because I believe that this is a young, streaky team, and the only thing that can stop them is really themselves. When they should have hit Nova yesterday afternoon, I should say. I think if they can get out of this series and the papers are saying nice things and everybody's hitting, and God forbid Greg Bird's bat wakes up, I think they could set themselves up very nicely to go on a very substantial run moving forward.
For the team's confidence and what they believe they can do, it is no doubt an important series. Some of the pitchers that they're going to see are the best in baseball, especially in that Boston series. But for me, it's a mirage, because we watched last year. Once you hit August, you can be a few games out of the wild card chase, or you can be a few games up in your division. But if it falls off then, and you get to late September, and all of a sudden you think, okay, we need this game, we got to take 2 or 3 from this. I can see the scenarios in front of them. So can the Yankees. So I feel like if they're in contention in August and September, that would be more important. Blue Jays could end up being terrible and trade off all their players. The Cubs are still a National League team, so even if you lose 2 or 3, it doesn't hurt you in division as much. I'm going Mirage.
Can we agree that it could be a far more positive series than it could negative?
Yes, okay. No doubt there. Yes.
I think if they were able to take 6-9 and God forbid go 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, I think that's the kind of thing that carries them forward to the All-Star break, all the way to the All-Star break, where they're going to be a tough team to beat.
I like that. Okay. Real and Mirage. Terry Collins, the manager of the New York Mets, is the biggest reason why the Mets are struggling early this season.
Mirage, but it's close. Mirage. I do not like Terry Collins as a manager. I'm sorry. I know that's not a very popular opinion. I think lack of personnel in that bullpen and bats is really the issue. But when you've got possibly the best starting rotation and enough in that bullpen that if you don't go crazy, you'll be okay, you are kind of mismanaging. But he's like 1A. One is just there's a couple moves they needed to make they didn't make.
And I get it, the bullpen and the suspension, and Travis d'Arnaud was injured, but if I see the Mets fans on my Twitter again say Travis d'Arnaud needs to start, I'm going to get rid of Twitter. Like, the Mets fans are killing my timeline.
Where?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know.
Selling popcorn?
The guy comes off the bench and is doing well, and it's
like a first baseman.
Right.
He's not even really a catcher anymore.
Yeah, you got to find a spot for him, but he's effective in the lineup. He's hitting the ball, no doubt. But Terry Collins doesn't play him as much, according to Mets fans. How he used the bullpen, we asked Buster Olney on Thursday, and Buster goes, I don't know what he's doing. And he still has this great starting pitching. This may be the team of all the Major League Baseball teams that needs to let go of Terry Collins in July or August and gets a spark from somebody. We see that in baseball all the time. You do the same thing over and over and over again. A fresh bat, a fresh pitcher, a fresh voice in the dugout could be the difference. Right now, Terry Collins is the common denominator. As much as I've been a Terry Collins defender, to real, he's been the biggest reason why so far this season. Kristaps Porzingis is genuinely upset with the New York Knicks organization. Real or Mirage?
Real. I don't know how you wouldn't be. If he wasn't, he would suck. Because no one should be happy with the way things are running right now. Have you heard the latest? Remember the guy who said, sell the team, Dolan, Jim? They blocked him from buying his season tickets for next season.
Wow. I mean, that's so petty. And this is the guy who yelled it out when Dolan was getting in his limousine or whatever. So they found the guy, found his seats, and said he can't renew.
They're blocking him. He's blocked. He can't. Like, dude, at some point, someone needs to roll in there and be like, you know what, Dolan? We're going to help you run this team. Go away. Because this team as a whole is terrible. KP has every right to be upset. I like the way he did it. Very non-aggressive terms. Hey, Phil made some comments or wrote some things he probably shouldn't have done. But I get it that, he lit a match, and the media threw gasoline on it, which, media, that's what we do. We just run around with gasoline. But
yeah, right.
But I like that he's just letting everybody know. I may be young, I may be Latvian, but I know what it takes to win, and you guys aren't doing it.
I'm with you. It's a real concern that Porzingis is not happy with the Knicks, and rightfully so. They're not winning. They're treating his teammate Carmelo Anthony poorly. But there's something about how Porzingis is handling this. Again, he's doing it right, but I still feel like young players following the lead of the veteran Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony's upset. Porzingis is upset. Carmelo doesn't want to talk a lot about his future. Porzingis doesn't want to talk a lot about his future. He's following the lead of Carmelo. He's gone on Carmelo's social media and shown support by liking his Instagram posts and things like that. And it's fine to do that. I don't know if he's as upset as Carmelo or other guys, but he's showing us that he's upset, which is sometimes good enough because he knows the media in New York will make people think Kristaps Porzingis is upset. He's playing this perfectly right now, and good for him.
Good for him.
The New York Jets are the New York team under the most pressure upcoming Thursday during the first round of the NFL draft.
That's real. Jerry Reese is safe now because they made the playoffs. He's not going. McAdoo's not going anywhere. Sean McDermott's new. If you wanted to pull an individual who might be under similar pressure, I'll go Doug Whaley, GM of the Bills. But as an entire organization, Mike McCagnon and Todd Bowles are on borrowed time if they don't do something big this year. They need to add, dare I say, 3 impact starters in this year's draft. And if one of those could be a quarterback, then they'll be safe. But the Jets are very much under the most pressure. Real
Giants fans know if a good player falls into the late 20s, that's how the draft goes. They may want 4 or 5 guys, the fans, but they may get picked before. That's just how it is. And the Giants don't have to trade up because they're pretty good right now on most positions. For the Bills, I don't think Bills fans are going nuts at, oh my goodness, they have to draft Mitchell Trubisky. You can't miss Deshaun Watson. That's not the case. Well, what about a wide receiver? There's some decent wide receivers they can get in the second round, too.
Right.
There's going to be a spot for Jets fans. And best case scenario, Deshaun Watson's on the board, Mitchell Trubisky's on the board, maybe even Leonard Fournette's on the board at 6, and O.J. Howard. You have all these great offensive players on the board, and someone else in the draft wants that person. Are you willing to say, give us a deal? Package them. Let's go. How many picks, how many players can we get from that move? It could be too much pressure that if all that falls in line for the Jets, that they don't trade, which I hope for Jets fans doesn't happen because they could screw it up by doing less than they're supposed to be doing there.
Real Jets fans, pray for the fringe Jets fans to hate what happens. No sexy names, just good players.
Stockpile those guys. Real or Mirage, the Toronto Maple Leafs are now the most cursed franchise in sports. We saw the Cubs win theirs. We saw the city of Cleveland win theirs. The Indians couldn't win it. Are the Blue Jays the most cursed? Or excuse me, the Maple Leafs the most cursed?
Wow, that is tough.
Their last Stanley Cup was a long time ago, 1967.
So they have the longest drought? Is that what you're telling me?
One of the most diehard fan bases that wants to win. It's hockey in Toronto.
I gotta tell you, I gotta go Mirage, and I gotta go Buffalo Bills. I don't know how you can be potentially the best team, definitely the best offense in football for like 4 years, not win a Super Bowl, and then never get back to the playoffs, like basically. I gotta go with the Buffalo, and almost every 4 years, people threaten to take your team away.
Yeah.
And have you seen what goes on in those parking lots?
Yikes.
That's what it's cursed of the parking lot baby makers is what it is.
It's the Bills, and the reason why it's the Bills, if we were to ask this question 2 years ago, I would have said the Maple Leafs. But they have a player now named Austin.
Are you agreeing with me?
I am agreeing with you.
All
It's
right.
real. And I would have said the Bills. But 2 years ago, Levac, I would have said the Maple Leafs. But the Maple Leafs have a player named Austin Matthews, who is a superstar in the making. We're going to be talking about him and Connor McDavid. Jack Eichel's fine in Buffalo for the Sabres, but Austin Matthews is one of the next big things in hockey. The Bills don't have that yet. They don't have a superstar that can take them to the next level.
Meanwhile, they did just get some news.
What is that?
The Bills have been awarded a 5th-round compensatory pick, the 163rd overall. Because not compensatory, but it's the Patriots pick because they let the Patriots have running back Mike Khaleesi.
There it is.
So there's another pick for you, kids.
I got one more for you.
One more.
You care about the whereabouts of fitness guru Richard Simmons. Real or Mirage?
That, honestly, the way you worded it, I have to say real. Because when the story finally comes out about what's going on, I'm going to pay attention. I don't care enough to go look for him. I don't care enough to, even Google him. But when it comes out, and because, I'm the guy who did say not too long ago, we haven't had a good, we need a good controversy. And then Aaron Hernandez goes crazy and everything. I do care. I want to know where he is.
If you don't know what we're talking about, this has been dominating the early part of the year of 2017 in pop culture. A podcast blew up, and people wanted to figure out where the fitness guru Richard Simmons had gone. People didn't know what in the world was going on, and people genuinely cared about it. And I had no intention of really finding out what Richard Simmons was up to. But because it constantly is in the headlines, now I'm fascinated. This is one of these things, like the Making the Murderer thing on Netflix. Yeah. I had no intentions to watch it. And then everyone never stopped talking about it. So I'm like, I guess I got to be in on it now. What's up with Simmons? He just left the hospital, by the way. He had not been seen in 3 years in public. Thank the doctors, everything's good. So he's just kicking it right now.
So he's around.
He's around. But people think he's gone
I didn't even
missing.
know that. I guess I don't care. Because I didn't even know that. I'm just desperate for something stupid to talk about. I think that's what it is. I remember when in a good week you could lose a member of Nirvana. O.J. Simpson could be driving crazy, and just everything's going on at once.
Just because we don't see anybody anymore, that's what it is. We're not posting selfies on Instagram or Snapchat. Are they okay? What's up?
In the defense of everybody freaking out over Richard Simmons not being in the public eye, the dude wears sequins everywhere. He wants to be noticed. So when a guy who wants to be noticed no longer wants to be noticed, there's a good chance there's foul play involved. Just to verify some people's thoughts out there. That's all. Is that good enough?
That's it. It's really over.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Have you ever done a Richard Simmons workout?
No, I have not.
Neither have I. But now again, the fascination. I have no intentions, but now as someone who wasn't there for the height of Richard Simmons,
I look at when I'm currently on a diet. And it's because everyone's harassing me. Everyone from our boss to, some of my favorite people in the world. I look at, when I'm on a diet, I look at workout videos the same way I look at restaurants. If you look at them and the people in there don't look the way you want to look, go to another one. Go to another one. He works out with people who make me look skinny. Why would I do that? What part of that makes me feel like that's going to work for me?
That's really good advice, LePet.
Well, there, you walk into a restaurant.
Amazing advice.
If you walk into a restaurant and it's all jumbo fat people, food's probably great, first of all. However, you're not going to find anything that's going to make you not be a jumbo fat person.
If everyone's sitting there with suits and ties and you're walking around with gym shorts and a hoodie,
I'm going by in shape.
Oh, I know, yeah, right.
But if you look over and there's 2 or 3 tables of people who look like they just came from the gym and they're in good shape, it's all right, I'm going to have what they're having. Throw some ice cream in.